Welcome to the Fitness Mission. I'm Stephanie, and today we are going to review some swallow exercises that you can incorporate into your daily routine to help yourself actually swallow more efficiently and safely. Now, I am a certified speech language pathologist with a specialty in working with Parkinson's voice and swallowing, and I'm also a group fitness instructor. I put up workouts on this channel that are voice workouts that are paired with movement, and so I encourage you to check those out. Plus, every workout or video that you watch that is from the Fitness Mission on here on Prime PD, I donate all the money that they give me to an organization called Mana Nutrition, which helps feed starving kids. So every time you work out with me here on Prime PD, you are actually helping feed the world. So pretty cool. But I get a lot of questions as a speech language pathologist of what can I do to make my swallow better? So, an estimated around 88 to 90% of people with Parkinson's will at some point experience some dysphagia, which is a swallow difficulties, whether it just be pills kind of getting stuck or food getting stuck in the mouth or throat, or actually having overt signs and symptoms of aspiration, coughing, choking, etc., or weight loss where we're just not able to get the calories in. A lot of my patients struggle with that, as do people with Parkinson's across the board. Now, the thing is that we can strengthen up our swallow muscles by doing things throughout the day without having to sit down and do swallow exercises. So back when I've been practicing for around 20 years, when I was first working with people with Parkinson's, I had this whole slew of research-based exercises, but all these swallow exercises. Now I really, based on the new research and literature, I really guide my patients into incorporating their swallow into their daily life and activities, because one, then the exercises get done, and two, we're actually having better outcomes. So one of the most important things is that we are using intent in our life with our voice and our swallow. And what I mean by that is when we have two tracks in our brain. We have the automatic system and we have the intentional system. So the automatic system allows our body to do things that just without even thinking about it. And then the intentional system is when we put thought into it. Now, there are some things that we do automatically that we have no control over, like our heart beating is an automatic system, but we don't have control over it. Then there's other things that we actually have control over, but are also automatic, like swallowing our saliva. We should be swallowing our saliva all day long without thinking about it. But now that I've brought it up to your attention, I bet you feel that spit in your mouth. I know I do, since I brought it up. Now I feel the need to swallow it down. So now that was an intentional movement. Same thing like swinging your arms when you're walking. That's an automatic movement. Normally our arms are supposed to swing when we're walking, but we can also power walk and move those arms. So with Parkinson's, the area of the brain, the basal ganglia, where the dopamine is produced, when we do things with intent, with purpose, where we're focused on it, we actually bypass the basal ganglia, which is where the dopamine is produced. And reduction of dopamine is the biggest problem in Parkinson's. So when we do things purposefully, intentfully, it actually allows somebody with Parkinson's to do it more like somebody who doesn't have Parkinson's, because we don't need that dopamine supply in order to do it. So instead of just being able to walk and walk normal, you actually need to think about big steps and moving your arms. You actually have to intentionally say, I'm going to swing my arms when I'm walking. Versus me, when I go to walk, I don't have to think I need to swing my arms. It just happens. You're going to have to say, you know what? I need to swallow my spit. Because it's not just going to happen automatically all the time, which is why a lot of my patients with Parkinson's will struggle with some drooling. So you actually have to be intentional and say, I'm going to do this. Well, the same thing is you have to be intentional with that voice. The Parkinson's natural voice is going to come and be softer and smaller movements of the mouth and everything. But when we think of speaking with intent and projecting, we're able to do it so much more efficiently. Now, why does this matter for swallowing? You're like, hey, this was supposed to be a swallow video. Why are you telling me all about this? Well, when we are going to do our swallow exercises. The most important swallowing exercises we can do, here's two things. One is swallowing with intent, not sticking our tongue out and doing little silly exercises. No, is actually just swallowing with purpose and also speaking with intent. So you can see right now, if I go like this and everything, and I'm going to talk like this and everything, my mouth got really tiny. My volume went down. That's what can happen with our voice with Parkinson's. And you can see that my muscles in my mouth and throat weren't really working. You can see that. Now, look at me now. When I'm projecting and being purposeful with my speech, you can see the muscles of my throat, of my mouth, they're all getting worked. Well, people will think that Parkinson's causes muscles to get weak. It does not. It's not like ALS or MS. Those diseases cause muscles to get weak. Parkinson's does not. Parkinson's, the muscles get weak because they're being underused. If you take teeny tiny steps, the muscles aren't getting the big step movement that they need to be big and strong. If we go out and we do little arms, we're going to do little claps or something like this, we're not using the muscles. We got to go big and big movements in order to build up muscle strength. Well, the same thing goes for the muscles of the mouth and throat. If we're going like this and everything like that, we're going to lose the strength of those muscles. The same muscles that go with the voice and speaking are the same muscles for swallowing. So every time that we're using our voice and projecting it, we're actually working the swallow muscles. Every time that you do a voice exercise class, like look at this. Do you see how much movement I'm getting of my vocal cords, all the muscles in my mouth and throat? We are working all of those muscles to the full extent, and that is what's going to build up our muscle function and help us to be able to swallow better. So you get a lot of bang for your buck when you're doing your voice exercises because you're also working the swallowing. Well, we also want people to swallow with intent. Back in the day, we always just said, modify the diet and make it as soft and easy as possible. Well, we don't have dumbbells for our swallow muscles. When we want to build up our biceps, we got dumbbells. We can work that. With our swallow muscles, the only weight resistance we have is the food we're eating. So we want you to eat as challenging a food as you can that is safe. And, you want to monitor your safety with, if you're struggling with your swallowing and you're noticing overt signs and symptoms of aspiration, which would be coughing, choking, runny nose, teary eyes, gurgly vocal quality, shortness of breath. If you're experiencing those things when you're eating, you definitely want to go and bring it up to your physician and see a certified speech language pathologist to work on your swallow. That is for sure, you want to do that. But no matter what, we want to be working those swallow muscles when we're eating, and we can do that by swallowing with intent. So I want to just teach you, we're going to sit upright because a lot of the times with Parkinson's, we want to be here. This is not a good swallow position. Right here, I want our lips pursed, and then we're going to swallow hard and fast. Right there, okay? So try that again, lips pursed, and swallow hard and fast. That's called an effortful swallow, and it's a great exercise. Now, we can include the effortful swallow into food and liquids that we're eating, and to keep doing that exercise and to be able to work all through the day when we're eating and maximize our muscle gain and function. So you can take a little teaspoon and scoop some water and put it in. You're going to purse your lips and swallow hard and fast. Now, I don't want to see any like chicken motions or throwing it back. Where head is in neutral. And hard and fast. Now, if a speech language pathologist or doctor has told you to tuck your chin, go ahead and follow the recommendations of your therapist or doctor. But if not, head in neutral is going to be, the neutral position is going to be the most efficient position for a functional swallow. So you can start with like a little teaspoon. Then you can move it up and try it with a little bit more liquid, like a tablespoon. Hard and fast, just like that. And, if you're doing that well, you can take a small sip and try to match what would be the teaspoon or tablespoon amount. Hard and fast, just like that. We can start increasing the bolus and making it a little bit more dense. So taking like a teaspoon's worth of like an applesauce or a pudding or a yogurt, and we're scooping it together and then pushing it hard and fast down, trying to get it in one. Then you can increase the bite size, because increased, now this is heavier, right? This is our dumbbell. Our food is our dumbbell when it comes to swallowing. Trying to swallow that down, working at trying to get it into one. You can do this, with progressively more challenging things. I got a little muffin here. I'm going to chew it up a little bit. Right here. I'm collecting. It's a little sticky. Then I'm going to purse my lips and swallow hard and fast. Right there. You're trying to get all the pieces. If you can't quite get them all, take your tongue around, do a little lingual sweep. Purse that lips. Swallow hard and fast without doing the chicken. And then, you can really make it challenging if you're able to, taking like a piece of meat or something. I got a little piece of chicken here. We're chewing it. Keeping the lips pursed tight. Hard and fast. So that is a great way to work the swallow muscles while you're already eating. It's swallow exercises all throughout the day. So if you just did that at the beginning of each meal with what you were already planning on having, and work that just, even for a few minutes where you're like, okay, I'm going to purse my lips. I'm going to swallow hard and fast, try to get it down efficiently, be really intentional about it. And then making sure we're being loud, projecting our voice, doing our voice exercises. You should see those swallow muscles really build up in strength and endurance. And also when we're doing those big bites and having to swallow them down, we're actually getting more in per bite, and that can help us with caloric intake. So there's a lot of benefits. We always want to make sure, whether we're doing swallow exercises or whether we're eating a meal, that we always have a clean mouth beforehand. If anything did get aspirated down, we don't want to take bacteria from our mouth down into the lungs with it. If we do aspirate, we want to cough hard and strong, not try to suppress the cough. Sometimes when we take something down the wrong way, somebody gives you a cup and says like, cup of water, here you go. No, we actually, if it's gone down the wrong way, we want to cough and cough and cough until we've cleared it out the right way. If you are, like I said before, if you are experiencing any overt signs and symptoms of aspiration, make sure that you address it with your physician and your speech language pathologist. This video, is just a tutorial in trying to explain how we can use just eating and speaking in order to build up our muscle strength for our mouth and throat to make the swallow as efficient as possible. If you're actually experiencing swallow trouble, make sure that you address that with your physician. But I hope that this was helpful. You can shoot comments to Prime PD and they can get me I'll try to answer any of the questions that you have. But really, if you've got a lot of questions, try to go to your local physician or speech language pathologist, because then you're working right hand in hand with them. So thank you guys so much for listening. All of the videos that I put out here on Prime PD, I'm Stephanie with the Fitness Mission. I donate 100% of the money from these videos to an organization called Mana Nutrition that fights against world hunger in kids. So every time that you do a workout with me or listen to one of these lectures trying to improve your speech and swallow function and cognition, then you're helping fight world hunger while you're doing it. So you're bettering you and you're bettering the world. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a great summer. God bless.